So in this particular live stream, I want to take some time to kind of focus on some of the Pokemon you can definitely obtain during this Kanto event, which you can evolve in Gen 4. So whenever that is live, these are some of the Pokemon you should be focusing on. You might be surprised as to how powerful these Pokemon are going to become. Oh, speaking of my Pokemon, my boy Gengar's in the building as well. Say hello to Gengar, guys. Gengar's in here as well, just chilling. The moment Shiny Eevee comes out, my April Fool's video is coming to realization. A couple of tips. I think this is really helpful. I've been reading through this. Really helpful, and we're gonna take this as well. That's kind of what triggered this little write-up, or this little stream, was actually this list right here. A wild Tangela spawn. What is that? Mom spaghetti, knees weak, arms so heavy. What are the top 3 Gen 4 Pokemon? That is kind of hard to say, because they might change up some Pokemon before they get released. But they're most likely going to be legendary. Omastar, another raid boss, a pretty interesting one. It came back. You can solo this, but it's quite tough. Onyx, I have no knowledge or anything like that with Onyx. I think you can solo this one relatively easily. What is this? We got a tiny little Onyx spawning here. I'm gonna have to say this though. The amount of like Gen 1 Pokemon that are spawning that are kind of rare is quite insane when you think about it. Let's talk about Gen 4. Okay, so quickly before we start talking about Generation 4, I would like to let you know that the Pokemon that I'm talking about during this live stream highlight are only Generation 1 Pokemon who get an evolution in Gen 4, because the Kanto event is ongoing right now, and these Pokemon you can actually save up candy for right now for them to evolve them in Gen 4 once they get that evolution. This is very important because I know there's obviously more Pokemon in Gen 4 which are going to be insanely powerful. There's also Gen 2 and Gen 3 Pokemon which will get evolutions, but the reason why I'm not covering those is A, because I could do it in video format, and B, because it's about the Kanto event. So save up candy for these Pokemon I'm going to be talking about right here. They're actually really good, but know that for your point of view, the what I'm talking about might be flawed. But I try my best to convey the information as informational as I possibly could. So yeah, enjoy. So the first one that you gotta take into consideration is gonna be Magnemite into Magneton, evolves into Magnezone. Okay, so the first one is going to be the evolved form of Magneton. It's called Magnezone. It's an electric and steel type. Electric and steel type is amazing. Barely has any weaknesses. It is double weak against ground types. It is weakness against fighting and fire type. But look at the resistances. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 resistances, which is absolutely ridiculous. Has very high defense. A really nice, very nice attack stat. So that's definitely something to take into consideration. Maximizes the CP, 100% IV, Magnezone, close to 3000 CP. Not bad at all. The only department it's kind of lacking in is going to be stamina, but it's kind of compensated by the fact that, you know, defense is really high up there. How does it match up against Zapdos? Well, Zapdos has, how much is it? 17 more attack than Magnezone. 17, that's not a whole lot. Aside from that, Magnezone has about 30 more defense than Zapdos, has about 40 less stamina than Zapdos. So, Magnezone, in my personal opinion, based off the typing, outclasses Zapdos. Magnezone does have a little bit less attack power than Zapdos, but the overall bulkiness of Magnezone and the typing just makes it a better Pokemon. And on top of that, you can put it in gyms. And you cannot put Zapdos in gyms. Raikou. Raikou is what I consider the best electric type in the game right now, simply due to the fact that, you know, it's more bulky than Zapdos is. Shiny, it doesn't really impress me that much, but it looks good. Looks quite good. Licky. It's so yeah, Licky. Lickitung is just it's just extremely underwhelming in every single aspect. It does have a lot of stamina, which is quite nice, but the issue is that Snorlax and Blissey and Chansey are just more annoying to deal with. So people are not going to be investing into a Licky. You have this Pokemon in gyms, and you will see it in gyms, and you'll just laugh a little bit. That's the kind of Pokemon it is. As a shiny, it looks kind of funny. It looks like a gummy. So Rhydon. Rhydon's second best ground type in the game right now, besides Groudon. Groudon being the best one by far. Rhydon is not a bad Pokemon. Look at these stats. That's Rhydon right now. Introducing Rhyperior. Rhyperior is just nothing more than an upgraded Rhydon. What does Rhyperior get from Rhydon? It gets 500 more CP. Rhyperior gets 19 more attack on evolution. It gets 18 more defense. And 20 more stamina. I have nothing but good things to say about this Pokemon. Besides the fact that it has quite a few weaknesses. It's double weak against grass. Double weak against water. Weak against ground, steel, ice, fighting. Well, fighting, definitely using fighting types. Grass types and obviously water types are really there in the meta. So, despite it being so bulky as it is, would you say it is not a gym viable Pokemon? Nah, you can definitely put it in gyms. It's actually definitely a good Pokemon in gyms. If you see a Pokemon with this CP in gym, it's actually quite intimidating, to be frank. Especially for new players out there. So, it's a good looking Pokemon. If you see the Pokemon, you're going to be like, whoa, what's up with that? It's like in terms of CP shock value, it's like a mini Slacking. But it's the type of Slacking that actually can do stuff. It does have far more stamina than Groudon. But Groudon is just so much more powerful in return. And has like no quad weakness against anything. So that's the thing. That's the determining factor right here. So Groudon obviously supreme. Groudon's going to be the best, you know, of all 7 generations, ground type attacker. So there's no denying that. But yeah, Rhyperior, definitely a Pokemon you want to be looking out to. Because, I mean, Rhydon's already great. And it's only getting better with Rhyperior. So yeah. Moving on to the next one. Tangrowth is a Pokemon you really want to focus on. Because I believe this is going to be the best grass attacker in the game. Let's take a look at Leafeon. Leafeon is kind of interesting in its own way as well. So the stats on these is attack. That Leafeon has more attack than Tangrowth. Has more defense and is actually incredibly defensive as a Pokemon. It's actually not even... It's crazy how much defense this Pokemon has. Makes it a pretty interesting Pokemon to consider. Stamina is really weak on this Pokemon, but look at this. Tangrowth makes up for that. He's already pretty defensive at 219. The difference is like 35. But Tangrowth makes up for it more than enough on it, with 70 more stamina than Leafeon. Because of that, I do believe that Tangrowth is just better than Leafeon until something changes with the current battle system. As cool as Executor is, and as cool as Executor has the most attack, in every single other department it just gets outclassed by Tangrowth. Grass is already kind of like a weak typing in the aspect that, you know, a lot of types counter the typing. But there's more weaknesses for Executor and a quad weakness in bug types than is for Tangrowth. I do want to say that I feel that Tangrowth is in fact going to be the best grass type in the game. On top of that, Celebi is hard to obtain. So for, you know, to have to invest into a Pokemon like Celebi that is barely, but probably not even better than Tangrowth, just don't think it's worth it. You know, they have the same stamina. They have 3 difference in attack and 9 difference in defense. What do you rather have? 3 points in attacking or 9 points in defense? That is an opinion you gotta make up for your own. Like, I'm curious about that. Would you rather have 9 extra defense or 3 extra attack? You know, at the end of the day, there's just simply more benefits to Tangrowth versus Celebi. Also, you can walk a Tangela or Tangrowth as a buddy, and it will cost you I think 3 kilometers to walk one candy versus Celebi, which is 20 kilometers. Of course, in terms of looks, Celebi kills it. You know, Celebi is amazing looking. It's a really cool Pokemon. It looks amazing. It's a good Pokemon too. It's better than Mew. But we're talking about overall usability here. And we're not talking about how awesome a Pokemon looks. You know? And that's the big difference. That's the big difference. Okay, we're going to be moving on. The next one is going to be Electabuzz. So we have determined that Magnezone could potentially be, depending on based of what you're looking for, could be the best electric type. Because it's more accessible and the stats are about the same. Raikou is a little bit more bulky on the other hand, but it's harder to obtain. Right? Here's Electro Fire. It's going to be a standard electric type. So the only weakness is going to be ground types. Which is good. Because not a whole lot of people focus on ground types. So in terms of stats, it's actually going to get more attack than Magnezone. A whopping 9 attack more. But the unfortunate part with Electro Fire is the fact that defense and stamina are kind of lacking. Magnezone still has defense to make up for it, has less stamina, but only 10 less stamina than Electivire. So, in that aspect, Electivire, great Pokemon, it's just outclassed by Magnezone. Okay, next up, Magmar. Or should we say, Magmortar. Let's put it side by side. Okay, Magmortar, pretty high CP here. Magmortar is gonna have a great deal of attack in Pokemon Go. Without a doubt, I can already say, you know, if you have that Magmar candy, you kind of want to save it up for Magmortar. How well does this work against Flareon? Well, they're kind of similar in terms of attack. Magmortar has 1 more attack than Flareon. Flareon has a really high attack stat regardless. But Flareon has that stamina it's lacking in. 20 more defense, 20 more. So Flareon and Magmortar are kind of the same. But I personally prefer HP over defense. So I'm just gonna say Magmortar is a little bit better than Flareon. Also the shiny, I don't know. This pink, man, I don't know. Magmortar is gonna be a good Pokemon. But it's gonna be similar to your Flareon. So you're gonna have to ask yourself, how much are you using your Flareon? I almost dare to say that's probably not going to be a lot. So let's compare it with Entei. Entei has a little bit less attack than Magmortar. The defense is a little bit less as well. But then Entei has that HP that makes up for it so much. And then we don't even have to talk about Moltres. Because Moltres has more attack than Magmortar. And kind of has more the same defense and more stamina. So, you know, you don't really have to say much more. Where does Magmortar rank? If Magmortar is released, I feel it's going to be the 3rd best fire type initially. There could be other fire types out there, you know, in Gen 4. But we're just talking about the ones immediately obtainable upon launch of Gen 4. In terms of Pokemon you can put in Gym, Magmortar is going to be the best fire type you can put in Gym upon launch of Gen 4. You know? So, yeah, if you want to put a fire type in, put Magmortar in. Magmortar is actually not going to be bad at all. Porygon. Porygon Z! Porygon is an interesting Pokemon. It's going to get a high CP stat for sure. 3072. It has a really high attack stat. But you know what the issue is with this Pokemon? The issue with this Pokemon is that it's a normal type. And you don't really, you know, there's nothing to a normal type Pokemon. Porygon Z is good, you know, in the actual Pokemon games. But the issue is, normal types of Pokemon Go, they just don't do well. And that's the unfortunate part about this. You know, the thing is, with Porygon, it looks cool. And it's awesome and everything like that. But the problem is just like, just doesn't do it, you know. Togekiss is a fairy flying type with 3100 CP. The stats of this Pokemon are insane. The stats of this Pokemon are insanely good. Well, not insanely good, but they're really good for what it is. Let's take a look at the typing here. Unfortunately, has quite a few weaknesses here. Ice, Poison, Steel, Rock, and Electric. Electric is in the meta for sure. Ice typing as well. Rock sorta is. Poison, Steel, not really. So 3 effective weaknesses. It is double resistance against quite a few typings, especially fighting. A lot of people like to use, you know, fighting type, Machamp. It resists against Dragon, Tyranitar, Grass type. So it has like a lot of the attackers covered. Like Togekiss is gonna be one of these Pokemon that's gonna be annoying. Like fighting type, definitely people are lazy and just pick Machamp. Dragon type, the amount of people that will pick Salamence, Dragonite, or Rayquaza is pretty insane when you think about it. So it has that covered pretty much. Then we got ground type. Ground type nobody really uses. Dark type, definitely being used for sure. So in terms of in Pokemon Go, Togekiss is really, really good with its typing alone. But then on top of that, it's also bulky. You know, it's a stamina. It's acceptable. Stamina is acceptable. Defense is good. Has a high attack. It's gonna be filling a gap of demand in the game that is called Fairy types, because the only Fairy type we have in the game right now is Gardevoir. And it doesn't have a very fast attack move. Pokemon to keep an eye out for: Magnemite, Rhyhorn, Tangela, Electabuzz, Magmar. Those 5 Pokemon will be good Pokemon. If you take into account Egg Hatching, Togepi, definitely. As a Fairy type attacker, definitely keep that in mind. It's going to be a great one. We could look at Happiny. So this is the baby of Chansey. Ah, that's a little bit disappointing. Come on.